Hi and welcome back to the Polymer Clay channel. My name is Gail and I do tutorials on what to do with polymer clay. If you're new here, I do tutorials about polymer clay and I take you through step-by-step instructions as to what to do with polymer clay and how to make things. Today I'm going to do something a bit different. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to decorate a glass mug. And this mug will become part of my giveaway and it's going to be crammed full of hot chocolate and chocolates and sweets. It's going to be great. So here we go. Okay, so I'm just making a start here with conditioning the clay. It's really important to make sure that clay is well conditioned. It's particularly if you're going to be sort of making swirls and things out of it. As soon as you twist the clay into a swirl, it could snap. So it's always worth making sure that it's well conditioned first. This one is Fimo effect, so it's really soft and it's quite nice to, as you can see, it's quite easy to manipulate and make into nice shapes. So that's what I'm going to continue. I need 4 of these to go around the glass, so I'm just going to make those now. It's just worth mentioning actually, I did these ones flat on the surface. I normally make them on the glass, but for sort of demonstration purposes it worked out quite well doing it like this, and I managed to get the design I was looking for and the swirls in the right place as well. Sometimes when they go on the glass they look a bit rubbish. When they go on the glass sometimes they look the wrong shape and things like that, so I get the general idea like this. Flat on the tile, and then I pop them on the glass in just a minute. So what I'm doing here now, bit of a speedy part of the filming, I'm placing them around the cup. I do this sort of in a kind of a varied way to start off with. Just place them on and see how they look, get a general sort of idea of where they're going to go and how I want them to look. This is a good time to kind of, as you can see here, I'm twisting them around so that they go the way I want them to, and sometimes they don't, which is why I just took that one off. So it's all about playing with the design on the mug and seeing how it looks. I take sort of good notice of where the handle is, so when you drink out of it, what you can see and also what others could see. Not sure whether anyone would sort of take that into consideration, but I often do. So quite often when you buy a mug, it'll have a decoration on the front towards yourself, and then towards another person, and not often either side. So I always sort of look at that from all different angles, really. So this is the part I'm doing this bit a bit slower, so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just twisting the clay around the handle, and then I'm going to make a little swirl that will go and set around the handle at the top. I paid close attention to this, obviously, because when you're holding a mug, you don't want the design to sort of be pushed around and pulled around too much. So I made it at the top rather than, and there you go. You can see me sort of testing it out to see how you would hold the mug and whether that would get in the way or not. And it turns out it didn't, so that was quite good. So what I'm making here is the swirls, and then I cut them blunt so they have like a flat surface to go on the swirls on the mug. I'm just putting them in different places around the design of the mug. I tend to build designs slowly, so I start with the design and then build on that once it's on the mug. And that's why it's all about good positioning to start off with, because obviously if I was going to take this all off, it would be a bit difficult. So that's what I'm doing now, just going around the mug and then building on the design. It's always perhaps a good time to mention that anything that goes on glass like polymer clay will go on and it will stick quite well, but then if you don't like the design, it can come off and basically you can start again. So glass is one of the really nice and easy things that you can put polymer clay onto. And what I did with this, as you'll see towards the end, when the design is finished, I actually placed it in the oven as it was. So obviously the polymer clay then kept the shape as well. So it's such a fantastic way of decorating something, and it's so easy to make, and obviously it doesn't cost a lot as well, so it's really good. So what I'm making here are the little balls. Now this is a long process, and it's I've never found a way of making it any easier. So I literally just cut them up and roll them and do as many as I can, because I like to be able to place them on the mug when I've got lots of them rather than doing them one at a time. And it really does take a little bit of patience to make sure that these all go on where they need to. So as you can see, all of a sudden they've magicked there. So now I start placing them on, and again building on the design and making it look pretty. So I'm bringing out the stamp now. I found the actual design of the swirls was a bit plain, so I wanted to give it a bit more of a design, a bit more detail. As I said, this is part of what I do in terms of building up the design. I don't go all in with the stamps because I don't know if it will look any good at the beginning, so I like to build it up quite slowly. So what I'm going to do is use parts of the stamp. I don't tend to use any particular type. I will just use it at random on different types of the clay and different parts as well. And I just press on and see where I want to put the design. Some parts I will leave bare, and that's based on the fact that I do build up the design with other things in a little while. So I've just got my dotting tool out now. I'm just going around the design where the stamp hasn't been put, just give it a bit more detail, and then it gives the mica powder something to sort of shimmer to. When you put mica powder on a plain piece of Fimo, it looks good, but it doesn't look as good as if you've got some detail to it. So that's what it's looking like at the moment. I think it's got quite almost an oriental look to it, really. I also managed to do the handle part as well, which was quite good. It's a very small part there. And this is when I'm moving on to the mica powders. So I'm just going to go ahead around the mug and shimmer away with the mica powders. Okay, so this is the speed part where I'm doing the mica powders. Mica powders, if you don't know, it's a bit like eyeshadow. It's very porous to polymer clay, so any marks or designs on polymer clay with mica powder really shines up and it makes it really highlighted. It's one of my favourite things to do, as you'll probably see in a lot of my videos, so it's something that I really enjoy doing. So I've got my little bag of my favourite glitter out. This is one of the glitters that is a multitude of different sizes from powder. It's really nice when it's on. And I have left some of the parts of the swirl design without mica powder so I can pop it on. Mica powder and glitter tend to not get on very well. Mica powder makes the polymer clay not sticky, so glitter doesn't stick to it very well, so I tend to leave a little bit that's not got anything on it so I can highlight with glitter. I tend not to sprinkle everything with glitter, I tend to highlight it in different places, although sometimes I do get a bit carried away. So here I'm just rolling out some more of the gold clay. Again, this is still the effects clay, so it has got a nice shimmer to it throughout the clay, and that's naturally straight out of the packet. I haven't mixed this one at all. So I'm just rolling that out, lifting it up slightly, and then I'm going to get some stamps and also some cutters, and I'm going to make some little hearts to go on the mug as well. I found that the mug as it's got quite heavy design on the three sides, if there is such a thing on a mug, I've decided to make something a little bit different to fill in the gaps, but also so that you can see through the mug as well, because I think that's quite nice. Sometimes I do like to cover something completely, but sometimes it's nice to see through something. If you're making a vase or like this, a mug or something like that, you want to be able to see through it. I just make something that sort of fills the gap, but it still allows you to see through it. So I'm just softening the hearts. I like to soften the edges a bit so they're not quite so sharp looking, and then I do use the same stamp that I used on the swirls, and then I use my tissue blade to make sure that comes off the tile nice and simply. If you've used a cutter and rolled clay onto a tile, it won't come off quite as easily as you think it will, so I use my tissue blade to do that, and I'm just showing you again how I do that all in one go. So you can do it either way. You can stamp them individually, or you can stamp one big piece of clay and then you can see what design you're going to get in the cutter as well, so you can do it either way. Okay, so I'm just placing the hearts on the mug here. So just before I do that, I just soften the edges, make sure that it's in a good condition, it's not going to split, and then I place it on the cup and then just check out the design. Obviously I can't press too hard because the clay is stamped and I don't want to ruin the design on it. So just look around the mug and see where the gaps are and whereabouts I want to put a design. And this could be anything, it doesn't have to be a heart, it could be any sort of cutter that you've got that you quite like, or you can make your own. Sometimes make my own little flowers and things like that. Just sort of where it takes you really. I tend to sort of just carry on and keep going. So what I'm doing here is just checking over the design, making sure that nothing's loose, make sure that everything's sort of fixed to the glass well enough. I try and make sure that things are in the right place as well. So once sort of checking over, I reposition things so that it has a good placement. Sometimes sort of taking a step back, you can sort of really get an idea of where you want things to go, and I sometimes put too much on, so it's good to sort of look at it and see. So a bit of a tidy up now, and then I'll show you how it looks. So I'm just adding some of the little balls to the hearts, just to match the design throughout. I sort of noticed it was a little bit, seemed a little bit missing, so I popped those on there as well. Okay, so a bit of a close-up view here, and that's how it's looking. I did add some mica powders to the heart as well. Okay, so I'm just going to start work on the spoon now. These spoons are normal stainless steel, just general ones you can get in a shop. I have ones with quite a wide end to them, so I can make a little design on them, and that's basically what I'm going to do right now. When I make a cup, I like to make a little matching spoon to go with it. So that's the little swirl that I'm going to put on the top there, and then I move on to taking it round the spoon. And there's the design on it. So I've gone all the way round, so you can see the back as well. And it's surprising how well it actually sticks to the end of the spoon. And I actually bake that in the oven as it is on that tile that you can see there. I find that the easiest way. The spoon withholds the heat in the oven, very easy to do, and it stays put. So I'm just stamping it now, giving it the matching effect, and you'll see me add mica powders and of course a little bit of glitter as well.
You might be the one that truly got me. I feel it too. You might be the one that truly got me. I feel it too. I feel it too. You might be the one that truly got me.
And there we are, that's the final piece. And the design does go all the way round as well, which gives it the security, so the polymer clay will actually stay in place. And there we have it. And there is the spoon with polymer clay design on the end. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I had fun making it. Please like, subscribe and comment for your chance to enter into the giveaway. Good luck! My name is Gail and I do tutorials. My name is Gail and I'm here to show you some tutorials on what to do with polymer clay. And this is all from Polymer Clay and a few stamps, bit of glitter. Oh my god!